Lieutenant Governor of Louisiana, Mr. Billy Nungesser. Hey, Mr. Billy, how are you this morning? Thank you for taking time for us.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I want to start with something this morning that's a little off the path, if you don't mind. Somebody a couple of weeks ago, your name came up in conversation just as we were discussing state officials, and the point they made was that this lieutenant governor, meaning in this case Billy Nungesser, seems to be a little more outspoken, a little more opinionated, a little more involved in, I don't want to say social issues, but I think you know what I mean, than previous lieutenant governors. I know we've had you on before talking about any number of controversial topics. Lieutenant governor is normally not a very controversial office, and I know you don't mean to make it that, but on the other hand, I know you have a lot of opinions about things. Is this by design, or just are you just following Billy's impulses?
Well, I try to always do the right thing and speak my mind in what I believe in, and everybody's got their opinion, and I think it's important that I speak my opinion when I think it's appropriate. Two of those issues. One is me coming out against the taking down of the monuments, which I don't think was an issue we needed to embark upon in Louisiana. We've got enough problems. They've been there for 100 years, and I think it was politically motivated and not a good thing for Louisiana. And the other is the fact that I didn't go to the Saints game when we had our tourism trip to London, because I work closely with all the veterans and the Gold Star mothers and support all those groups. And I think many of those people that lost someone in war, the one thing they hold on to is that flag and that national anthem, and they're proud that their son or loved one was willing to give their life for our country. And I think anything that takes away from that, if it hurts one family, it's one too many. And still am very disappointed in the NFL and their efforts, and have not attended a game.
You are a huge tourism guy, and I've always wanted to ask you this. So since you brought it up, if New Orleans takes down Andrew Jackson, does that hurt tourism in New Orleans? Because I know a lot of people who say, man, I'm not going down there anymore. I'm just not going. Would this be another blow that would hurt our state's biggest city?
Absolutely. When they started taking in the monuments, we were in the midst of bringing the Veterans Convention to New Orleans. And we got letters and emails of people that said they weren't coming to that convention. So anything that negatively impacts our state or our communities will hurt tourism. And, we are on a roll in Louisiana. International visitors up 37%, our fifth record-breaking year. And all these controversial things I don't think benefits us as a state or does not help tourism.
On a brighter note, it's almost 2018, Mr. Billy. What's the plan? What's the goal? What's the Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor, mission statement for next year?
Well, I think, we started this foundation, Culture, Recreation, and Tourism, that's going to allow us to do the private-public partnerships with the state parks. And we've got two state parks for the first time ever making money just by working a little bit more like a business and having crews go around and fix things instead of a plumber sitting in every state park. So my goal is to make our state parks and museums, through this foundation, these private-public partnerships, less dependent on tax dollars for the state, to increase our tourism, and to get our Louisiana citizens to staycation here in Louisiana. If every citizen takes one vacation when they would leave the state and they would see a part of Louisiana they haven't seen, that would increase our tourism right here at home. And it would make our residents more knowledgeable about all the great things all over Louisiana. And when they leave the state talking about it, they're our best salespeople and help us sell Louisiana.
This quote from the Hodges Gardens folks, and I know you probably have seen this. Friends, it's sad to report the Office of State Parks has failed to uphold its contractual obligation to sufficiently fund and continuously operate Hodges Gardens. Effective October 1, Hodges Gardens will return. You've seen it. What's going to happen with Hodges Gardens? It is a jewel in our region.
Absolutely. When we were blindsided with a letter from that foundation that said effective immediately, they're going to start the process to take the gardens back from the state due to the many years of backlog of repairs and maintenance and neglect to those gardens. When we got that letter, we were blindsided. We asked for some more time. We tried to work out a deal with the Sabine River Authority to take it over. We thought that was going to work, but it was out of our control. It's not a park that we just went out and closed, as we have committed to juggling the funds, and we've received budget cuts every year like everyone else. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is the last governor took $54 million in self-generated funds from state parks, swept that in 8 years from the state park system. I didn't even know that till I took office. So we started with millions in backlogs of repairs and maintenance at all the state parks, and we just didn't have the control to keep that park. And working with Jay Darden and the administration, which has all the contracts for our facilities and our partnerships, we didn't think we could. We had a leg to stand on because we didn't have the $7 million that was required to get it in top shape. So hopefully, with this foundation, through this private-public partnership, once we're raising some money in this foundation, I'm not giving up on one day us taking it back over and making it open to the public. I truly don't know the intentions of the board of taking it back from us and not just helping us get it back in shape. So I'm at a loss at what their intentions are.